All right, so last time we figured out how to get the signature of a rogue signal. But, knowing what you're looking for is really only half the battle. Today, we're grabbing our gear, we're heading out into the field, we are going on the hunt. We're going to pinpoint the exact physical source of that annoying radio noise. The real detective work, it starts right now. And just a quick heads up, this is part 12 of our big 15-part series. So today's the day we take all that theory we've been building up and actually use it to find a physical spot on a map.
So picture this. You've done all the work in the lab. Your spectrum analyzer gave you this perfect fingerprint of the interference. You totally know the what. But now you're standing outside, antenna in hand, and the signal, well, it's everywhere. The million-dollar question is, where? How in the world do you turn a reading on a screen into an actual place you can walk to?
Now, pointing your antenna and getting a general direction, that's a fantastic first step. But let's be real, it's somewhere over there just isn't going to cut it. That could be a whole neighborhood. We've got to go from a vague direction to a specific address, maybe a single power line, or find that one faulty device in an entire office building. And that brings us to our first and probably most classic technique, triangulation. And yeah, it is exactly what you see in the old spy movies, people drawing lines on a map until they all cross at the target's hideout. It's a classic method for one simple reason. It just works. Just take a look at this. It breaks it down perfectly. Each one of those dotted lines represents a bearing, basically a line of sight to the signal that you've taken from a totally different spot. The idea is if you take enough of these from different angles, they should all, in a perfect world, cross at one single point. And that intersection, well, that's our treasure map's X. That's where we find the source. So how do you actually do this in the real world? It's basically a four-step dance. First, you've got to pick at least 3 different spots to take your measurements from. And this is crucial. You want them spaced out really well, ideally giving you 60 to 120-degree angles relative to where you think the target is. That geometry gives you the best results. Then, at each spot, you find the bearing and you log your GPS. After that, it's back to the map to literally draw the lines. The little area where they all bunch up, that's where you start walking around. But here's the reality check. In the real world, with signals bouncing off buildings and tiny measurement errors, those lines almost never cross at one perfect point. It's just not going to happen. So instead, you get this small shape, this little polygon where the lines get really close. We call it the triangle of uncertainty. And this is the key takeaway. Your goal isn't to find a single dot on the map. It's to define this tiny search area. You know your target has to be somewhere inside that little triangle. Okay, so triangulation gets us into the right neighborhood, maybe the right city block. But how do we find the exact house? That's where our second technique comes in, signal strength mapping. I want you to imagine creating a heat map of the area, where bright red means the signal is super strong. All we have to do then is just walk towards the hottest spot. It is literally the high-tech version of playing you're getting warmer, you're getting colder. And the logic behind this couldn't be simpler. It's just physics. Radio signals, kind of like sound from a speaker, get weaker the farther you move away from the source. So even with obstacles like buildings and trees messing things up a bit, that fundamental rule holds true. The signal is always going to be strongest right next to whatever is blasting it out. Our job is just to follow that signal strength uphill. So the setup for this is pretty straightforward. You connect a receiver to a GPS so you can log both the signal strength and your precise location at the exact same time. Then you just move through the area. You can drive, you can walk, while the system is just constantly recording data. And finally, you dump all that data into some software that correlates everything and spits out that beautiful visual heat map, which will basically just point a giant arrow at the hotspots of interference. So here's the thing. Neither of these methods is a silver bullet on its own. The real magic, the real secret sauce, happens when you put them together. You start wide with triangulation. That's your tool to get you to the right city block. Once you're in the zone, you switch gears to signal strength mapping. That's your precision tool, the one that's going to walk you right up to the specific power pole, the front door of the right building, or heck, even the exact desk where that noisy piece of equipment is sitting. And that kind of brings us to a final thought here. As our world gets absolutely saturated with wireless devices, everything from tiny little IoT sensors to massive 5G networks, the airwaves are getting more and more crowded, more chaotic. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Will hunting for this kind of interference stop being a niche skill for engineers and become a critical skill for pretty much everyone who just wants a clean, reliable wireless connection? Something to think about.